New since 5, one tri-state county is getting 2 new economic leaders. They plan to join forces, strengthening the local economy. WGEM's Claire Edlin is now back from Pike County to introduce us to these 2 newly appointed directors and tell us about their common goal. Claire?
Changes were already in motion 2 months ago when the Pike County Economic Development Corporation and the county's Chamber of Commerce merged. The combined organization now has a new leader in charge. Oklahoma native Jamie Beasley is the county's economic director now, bringing with her a wealth of prior experience in leading economic districts, chambers, and Main Street associations across the country. Beasley's mission is to promote Pike County tourism, find micro-business grants for those small businesses that don't have storefronts, and helping those already existing businesses grow.
And there's also a program called Economic Gardening, which is focused on what they call stage 2 companies. So it's companies that have been established, they're making good money, but they want to grow. But we can grow our own companies, give them the success, and of course that pours money into our economy.
Meanwhile, the city of Pittsfield has also hired a new economic development director. Pittsfield native Brittany Emmerich. She says she has a background in management and people relations. She says she knows the area very well and also very much looks forward to working alongside Beasley.
I have grown up in Pike County, love it here, and I want to see more. There's not a ton of growth happening, and I would like to help that and be a part and give ideas and help execute plans that are in place.
Emmerich says she wants to get the community's input on what sort of economic growth they would like to see in the city. That's why she urges residents to keep tabs on the Pittsfield app for random surveys. Daniel?
All right. Thank you very much, Claire. Emmerich and Beasley say they plan to talk with local business owners and also find out what their needs are going forward.